Hello, Namaskar. I'm Preeti Prakash. Today I have with me the ambassador of the state of Palestine, Mr. Abdallah M Abu Shawesh. He's been, before his India stint, he's been the ambassador to Nigeria. He's had an 8-year tenure as the permanent observer of his state to the UN. And he has also been the foreign affairs minister of his government. Let's dive straight into talks with with the ambassador to know about the past, present, and future of his homeland and everything that concerns it. Welcome, Ambassador. Mm, Let me start by asking you. Uh, so, how do you justify what happened on October 7th, particularly because Hamas marched into Israel, abducted so many, killed so many, including women and children? So, you speak of resistance as a legitimate right, which is under occupation. So, where, according to you, is the red line between legitimate resistance and terrorism?
Thank you so much indeed, Briti, for having me today. And I would like to start by saying Namaskar. In your introduction, which I highly appreciated it, you said that we want to talk about the past, present, and the future of my country. And you jumped directly to October 7th. And I would like to connect both of them because one of the unfair, I did not mean you, of course, one of the unfair issue when the people start just asking us in October 7th, as if this is the very first day of the global history itself, as if the October 7th itself is the day that the entire planet itself or the galaxy itself was created. But again, you said past, present, and the future. Unfortunately, it happened, October 7th, it happened. And I did not agree with you on some of that. How did you classify it when you said that children was killed? This means that you still believe that there are, unless you would like to say something in this regard, you still believe that there are 40 babies had been beheaded. Likewise, how did the fugitive from justice, the Israeli prime minister, declared, and there is many other children whom had been burned alive in the oven in front of their parents. Likewise, again, how did the fugitive from justice, the Israeli prime minister, mentioned and propagated it at the very early days or at the very early hour of the October 7th. But again, of course, you have the full right to ask and to portray your question as you would like, but it's also my full responsibility, legitimate responsibility, my legal responsibility and political responsibility and diplomatic responsibility to shed light a bit before or the October 7th. And I used to start by saying, do you know what happened in October 6th to the Palestinians? Absolutely, you will not know. You did not know, and you will not know because the screens, the complicit screens, the vast majority of the Western media, complicit Western media, giant and outlet will not show you, will not give you the opportunity to see or to watch or to know what happened in Friday, October 6th, 2023, when 6 Palestinians has been killed at that exact day. Since January 1, 2023, up to October 6th, Friday, 2023, more than 400 Palestinians had been killed and slain. One of them, 2.5 years old, I know his family. His name is Hamad al-Tamimi. Slain for fun, just for fun. Slain for fun, sniped for fun, while he is in at the arm of his father. Do you know that? No, you did not know, and you will not know because again, the complicit media will not give you the chance to know the reason behind October 7th. And again, when it came to October 7th itself, we have two schools of thought: how to tackle, how to analyze, and how to discuss October 7th. The rational school of thought, which I personally, absolutely the one who represents the rational school of thought. and the irrational or the Zionist school of thought, which is Israel and it is Western Alliance who is using this school of thought. In the rational school of thought, we used to say that the root symptom analysis, any problem worldwide, regardless of its size, when you want to tackle it, when you want to analyze it, when you want to solve it, you should solve the roots of the problem, not the symptom. Root symptom analysis. This is the only way. When it came to October 7th, and this is not only our opinion, also the United Nations Secretary General, His Excellency Antonio Guterres, in his speech in 24th of October 2024, in front, before the Security Council, when he shed light on October 7th and after he condemned it, he said, but it has not happened in a vacuum. There is a history. Mm-hmm. So when we analyze October 7th, again, two schools of thought. The Zionist school of thought, who want us to believe that the galaxy, the planet Earth, was created and started in October 7th, and the rational school of thought, which say that there is a root, there is an incubator, there is a history behind October 7th. And the very early history, the very first day of this unfortunate history behind October 7th, is November 2nd, 1917, when the United Kingdom, your oppressor at that time, issued the despicable, notorious, ominous Balfour Declaration. In this declaration, United Kingdom, which have zero footprint in our homeland, they have footprint in your homeland at that time, zero footprint in our homeland, zero legal claim for our homeland, zero legitimate, zero everything, nothing. They have nothing in our homeland, but they decided, out of their arrogance as a Western country, to pledge, to gifted our homeland to the Khazarian Jew. And they issued again the notorious, despicable Balfour Declaration. This is the root of the issue. And since at that time, when the United Kingdom, when the Western country was used to close their door in front of in the face of the Jewish immigration from Russia and other places inside Europe, not to allow them to immigrate to their country, especially Balfour himself, United Kingdom itself, when there is a program against the Jewish in Russia, they refuse to allow them to immigrate to their country, to the United Kingdom. Also, the United States of America did so, but they opened all the gates when the United Kingdom became the mandatory power over Palestine after the World War I. They opened all the gates for the Khazarian Jew, the European Jew, to immigrate to Palestine. This is the root of the problem. Then not only this, United Kingdom did not spare any effort to fully militarize, to defeat the Jewish terrorist gang which was created in Palestine. This is not our word, this is history, written history, proven history. Mm-hmm. Those terrorist gangs conducted tens of terrorist attacks against the Palestinian, my people, before 1947. 1948, they succeeded to expel us by the support again of the United Kingdom and many other Western countries. They succeeded to expel us, to ethnically cleanse us from our original homeland, Palestine. So that my late father was born in our original village, Berga, and I personally born in a refugee camp in Gaza. History. Without history, you cannot analyze October 7th. Not only this, Israel occupied the remaining part of the historical land of Palestine. Israel killing, destroying, building settlement. Israel is a state above the international law, and this is something everyone acknowledge it and everyone know it. This is not our wording. This is what has happened. What has happened on the ground, on the reality. Mm-hmm. But again, this is a tip of iceberg. There's a very lengthy, very bloody history behind October 7th, so that we cannot analyze October 7th without backing to the history. But again, when it came to the October 7th, because there's many issues happened, and many countries, especially the Western countries, used to say all of the Palestinian misery, which means nothing justified October 7th. Fair enough. But also October 7th that did not justify the slaughtering of more than 71,000 Palestinians. The live stream massacres that everyone worldwide watch it. So if the Palestinian misery, 105 of the continuous Palestinian misery, expelling them from their homeland, occupied their land, all these misery did not justify October 7th, and October 7th did not justify what happened after October 7th. This is the rational school of thought. The Zionist school of thought wants us to believe again that nothing before October 7th, we are going to sleep in October 6th, everything is okay, there is no occupation, there is no refugee camps, nothing to the Palestinian happened. Then the Palestinian monsters invaded the Israeli, they used to say Israeli border. Israel did not have a border at all. Up to date, Israel did not have any single line of border, even in the United Nations itself. And the Palestinians invaded and killed and did all of these catastrophic issues. To school of thought, we should be rational to analyze it. This is not to justify, absolutely. And here I would like to stress that President Abbas and the PLO, Palestinian Authority, have declared position when we signed Oslo Accord 33 years ago. We already agreed to build our state in only 22% of our historical land. Do you want me to repeat it? Only 22% of our historical land, Palestine, from the river to the sea, is our historical land. Still, up to date, all the official title deeds of our historical land, we still have it in the Israeli archive. Israel is still managing and dealing and with our property, land, homes, and all of this stuff. That is still they are using it with a very special law called, and you can find it. Your followers can find it. Property, absentee property law. This is the issue, and there is tens of thousands of issues behind October 7th. We did not justify October 7th, but we will not allow anyone to tell us in this exact moment we should start measuring and we should start writing the history. This is not fair, this is not just, and this is not legitimate at all. But again, also on October 7th, still many questions did not be answered. Why? I already mentioned some of why. Who? You can say Hamas, but Hamas is not the one who conducted. It's not a conspiracy theory, and we should not remove from the table the false flag attack. Who? We know already Hamas did. But what happened in October 7th? Do you know what happened? Yet we did not know. Even the Israeli up to date, just yesterday, is trying to create an internal independent investigation committee to investigate what happened in October 7th. Yet they did not succeed. In October 7th, just to you to know, the first ever reaction from the most sophisticated military army worldwide came after 6.5 hours of the attack. If you have an accident here in your, God forbid, accident, car accident, the rescue team will came with the jam and within maximum 20 minutes. And military attack, so to speak, military attack, Hamas attack. And the first ever reaction is to come after 6.5 hours. Big question that we all, because we already as a human being, have been negatively affected by this attack. We need to know. So what happened in October 7th? 40 babies have been beheaded. Any single name of them. Any single name.
Palestinian.
No, the Palestinians had been dismembered. I mean, the 40 babies whom this beheaded, that is the propaganda that has been propagated and repeated by the Israeli media, by the Israeli Prime Minister, and still be repeated by many of the complicit Western countries. Any single name of those 40 babies whom be beheaded. and single name of the children that have been burned alive in the oven in front of their families. Yet, we did not have. There's a lot of misinformation, and there is a lot of issue that we did not know it. Yet, we deserve to know it, not as a Palestinian, as Indian people, as Jewish people, as Muslims, as Christians, and Hindus, because this affect and will continue to affect us. What happened in October 7 is another inflection in the human history, so that we need to know what happened in October 7. Again, when it came to the issue of what is the difference between legitimate? Yes, absolutely. And I would like to shed light in only 100 years ago, in your history as Indian people, there are two schools of thought how to resist the British colonization. Mahatma Gandhi, fully peaceful resistance, and then the other side, the great martyr Bhagat Singh. Any one of you today can say that one of these two schools of thought was wrong. One of these two schools is not legitimate. According to the international law, and this is not our word, every school of thought, of both of the school of thought, is very legitimate and completely abide by the international law. We in the Palestinian Liberation Organization, Palestinian Authority, President Abbas, choose the Mahatma Gandhi, whom is signed, the one who signed, and the legitimate and sole representative of the Palestinian people, choose the Mahatma Gandhi school of thought of resisting the Israeli occupation. But in the same exact time, the one who signed Oslo Accord, President Abbas, the counter president, they accused him of being terrorist diplomat. Do you know that? He already labeled as a terrorist diplomat. Me, for them, is a terrorist diplomat. Period. So when it came to October 7, much to talk about it. And when it came to condemn, because the others used to say, and you would like to ask, do you condemn? I'm gonna condemn tens of thousands of acts that is caused and the reason for October 7. Then I will reach October 7 and after October 7. But to isolate only unfortunate, of course, one unfortunate issue or one unfortunate act in the history from it is past, from it, it's not fair at all, and it will not serve the global peace. Thank you.
Okay, so in the similar context, maybe I'd like to ask that did Hamas miscalculate Israel's response?
No, this is my wording. Yes, Hamas miscalculate. One word loud and clear, and even many of the Hamas leaders saying these words.
Yeah, because it's at the end of the day, it's the Gazans who are paying the price of what happened on October 7th. And why should ordinary Gazans be paying this kind of price for what Hamas did? Is there a responsibility?
There is a big difference between whether I used to say, yes, Hamas miscalculate, but Gaza is paying the price for what Hamas did. This means that you again isolated. There is no blockade over Gaza. Gaza was not under the Israeli occupation. According to the international law, Gaza was under the Israeli occupation. My family is there. I born there in a refugee camp. But because there are two parts. Yes, Hamas miscalculated. One word loud and clear. But the other part, is this mean that they are paying the price of the miscalculation of their attack? No, they are paying the price of the longest standing plan, Israeli plan, which called and fugitive from justice. The Israeli Prime Minister mentioned it just 3 months ago in front of the international community from the UN General Assembly podium when he said, finish the job. And this is in a secret code for expelling the Palestinian people. Absolutely, I can agree with you on the miscalculation, but absolutely we are rational enough not to agree because of, so they are killing 71,000 Palestinians, destroying Gaza. This is not true at all. There is a plan, declared the plan, long time declared the plan, finish the job. And the Israeli, when they say finish the job, they are This means that, or according to their belief, Ben Gurion, when he established the state of Israel, he had the chance to expel and to ethnically cleanse the entire Palestinian people from the entire historical land of Palestine, but he did not finish the job. So it's time to finish the job. Another proof to that. If the Gaza is paying the price for what Hamas did, what about the people and the Palestinian in West Bank? What is the justification of killing and expelling and ethnically cleansing the Palestinians, destroying the West Bank, and all of these devastating measures that they are taking it against the people and the Palestinian in West Bank? It's not justified. All of this is a propaganda, Israeli propaganda. It needs to be analyzed in a rational way to find, and we will find when we analyze it in a rational way, we will find that this is not the truth. Even if someone that you already, for sake of argument, I will go to analyze it from other perspective. You and your alliance, Western alliance, considering and declassifying and Hamas as a terrorist organization, for sake of argument, and this terrorist organization conducted this again attack against you. Does this mean that you're gonna kill all the 71,000, all of them without no exception, as innocent people? And when we used to say innocent people, because all the names is there, declared names, could Israel just point at his finger and to say this one and this one is terrorist? Yet they did not told us any single name of the terrorists that they considering them terrorists out of the 71,000 names is there. So that even if Hamas, and again, for sake of argument, conducted this issue, and it already conducted it, you already and your alliance considering it and labeling it as a terrorist organization. Are you going to kill the innocent people? Are you going to destroy Gaza? Because again, one terrorist group, according to your, hijack the people, taking them as a human shield, according to your belief. There is no logic in this at all. But there is a propaganda. And the propaganda is fully supported by the cameras, by the screens worldwide, and the fanatic people, and fully supported and by money.
Okay, although what you said has a lot of counter questions in my mind, but I'll just, as of now, move forward with a little international scene here. So the US brokered ceasefire has almost failed. This is the second phase of ceasefire that is going on in this war. Even as this second phase is going on, it was just yesterday or day before that, the Israel Prime Minister has approved 50 settlements in West Bank. Even the United Nations relief workers have been attacked there. And as you just said, 70,000 people have been killed. 71. So many homeless. And even journalists have been 657 around journalists have been killed. I think it is said to be the largest number of journalists killed in any conflict, for that matter,
in the history.
Yeah. So and Gaza, we see, is generally discussed in numbers like casualties, then aid trucks, and then ceasefire days, and etc. But what is your assessment of the condition there?
Again, when it came to the ceasefire, here we are. We all had been, our consciences has been Zionists, even me, not only you. When we talk about ceasefire, it gave the impression for your followers that ceasefire, there are two armies fighting against each other. By default, by definition, ceasefire between two armies. Is this the case in Gaza? I'm asking, is this the case? Did you saw the Palestinians have tanks? Did the Palestinians have missiles and all of these devastating and worship tools? And no. So again, when we say ceasefire, we should be extra careful. But unfortunately, this is the media that is trying to say ceasefire, which gave the implication and impression that there are two armies, which again not the case. And Israel ranked the 15 all around the world when it came to the military army. Israel is have a nuclear weapons,
Yeah.
and all of this stuff, and launch a war fully backed by the United States of America. I'm not revealing a secret. Everyone know that, and the American declared that even, and many Western countries. Could you imagine Israel? Fully supported by United States of America, with fully support and complicity, of course, many Western country, launch a war on Gaza, 365 square kilometer. Could you imagine? With the most dense place in the world, 2.3 million human being there, zero shell. They have zero place to escape of it, according to the international organization. But for 2 years, and still, because ceasefire is just declared, but fire is still there. Just 3 weeks ago, the Israeli army killed 14 persons of my personal family, Abu Shawesh family. Yes, fire is there. Every day they are killing the people. Even in a daily pace, they are attacking the people and killing the Palestinians.
So, I mean,
there is no ceasefire.
So, I mean, what is this big story about ceasefire?
There is a declaration of ceasefire, but in the ground, no, fire is still there. The Palestinians still. You can follow it. It's there in their media. If you also follow their Israeli media, they're gonna count in a daily pace how much Palestinians used to be killed in West Bank and in Gaza itself, because ceasefire should be also, if they would like to talk about ceasefire, it should be also applying in West Bank, like killing the Palestinian in West Bank in a daily pace, whom is subject to a daily terror attack by the Israeli settlers, fanatic settlers in West Bank. This is the fact. Second, when you said 19 settlement. They declared it yesterday. They approved another 19 settlement, but also the fanatic messianic minister, Bezalel Smotrich, the finance minister, the Israeli finance minister, whom is many of the Israeli political leaders considering him terrorist. Mm-hmm. They loud and clear, they call him a terrorist man. The Israeli, not us. But of course we are calling him a terrorist man. He declared in his WhatsApp, you can back to his WhatsApp just 2 days ago, we approved 69 settlements during the last 2 years, and this is to prevent the establishment of the state of Palestine. Declared position. Israeli minister cabinet declared that. So that, again, when it came to the Israeli settlement, which is absolutely, utterly against the, is against the international law establishing the Israeli settlement or moving part of their citizens to the occupied Palestinian territory, is against the international law. And the recent advisory opinion that came from the international ICJ was very clear in this regard, when it was again stressed that settlement and the existing of the settler is against the still stand against the international law. And not only that, but when it came to the situation in the ground, after since and before, of course, because when we start by saying as if the galaxy started or created in October 7th, or before October 7th, there was a blockade, total blockade in Gaza since 2007. The humanitarian aid is a very shortage even before the October 7th. With October 7th and after October 7th, many of the Palestinians already died due to the famine. Just the fourth phase of the famine is still ongoing in Gaza. Fact. Just 2 days ago, the United Nations issued a report talking about the phase 4 of the famine is still ongoing in Gaza. People is still going hungry. Prices is skyrocketing. Everything is there, is destroyed. The people is dying because of the cold weather. Now there is nothing to shelter them. When it came to what happened in the ground, tens of thousands of issues can be documented, and unfortunately, still we are far away from the screens, the global screens, to be appear just reporting in the macro level, but. Again, all of these report is not covering what happened underground.
So do you believe that media is not actually reporting fairly on what, be it Western media or be it
No, the vast majority, I used to say that, and I will not hesitate to say that. Day and night, me in person used to say that the vast majority of the Western media is controlled by the Zionist movement. This is fact, and this is not anti-Semitic because I'm a Semitic person. They can accuse you of being Semitic when you say that. It's there. But for me, I'm a Semitic person, so that they cannot. And this is fact. The vast majority of the Western media is controlled by the Zionist movement, and the ultimate vast majority of it is completely, utterly complicit in this, as part of the Israeli propaganda and part of the entrenching the Israeli occupation, even before October 7th. Just let me remind you that before even 1948, one of the main slogans that was dominated the discourse worldwide is land without people for people without land. This is the media. How did the Western media play a crucial role against us? When they used to describe our land, homeland, Palestine, without people. So all of the Palestinian was not existed, according to the Western media at that time. So land without people, for people without land. No, when it came to the media, yes, absolutely. The vast majority of the Western media is utterly, completely, totally part of this war against the Palestinian people. And we already watch and witness many videos at the very beginning of the war. At the very beginning, fabricated videos, man-made videos from many of the very prominent Western media. But again, when it came to how did the media reporting, just to remind you, and you already mentioned that hundreds of your colleagues, the media correspondent in Gaza, had been targeted, not killed, because there is a big difference between targeted and killed, had been targeted and eliminated, just to remove the Palestinian perspective from the social media, from the media itself. Up to date, Israel is refusing to allow any foreign media correspondent to enter to Gaza. No, the media was used to, and to some extent, part of the media is used to report about the Palestinian issue, reporting, not story, because there is a big difference. Once, the very first question that I answer it is the story. But when we talk about 70,000, 71,000 who was killed, and all of these statistics, it's a reporting. There is a big difference between reporting and unfortunately, yes, and the vast majority of the media is still reporting. And let me be very frank, the vast majority of the media is still giving the Israeli side the whole entire screen. And the Palestinian ambassador here in India, how many times did you saw the Israeli ambassador, and how many times did you saw the Palestinian ambassador? Not only you, everyone of you. How many times? Yes.
Okay, now moving to India. So India has always stood by Palestine, but today it shares a deep strategic relationship with Israel because there are core issues that are addressed, like defense technology and counterterrorism and intelligence cooperation and so on. So how does Palestine interpret India's position? So do you take it as silence or neutrality or kind of, quiet alignment? And what do you expect from India as a country which speaks of strategic autonomy?
Indeed, when it came to the India-Israeli relation, this is the Indian, of course, the Indian people, the Indian government, full legitimate right to have their relation with any country worldwide, and we did not interfere. This is not. This is a declared position from the Palestinian National Authority long time ago, Palestinian Liberation Organization, and even before that, it was declared by Chairman Arafat himself. So that we did not get close to this. But also, when we have any concern, any legitimate concern regarding this relation, we used to tackle it and to talk to raise it with our counterpart here in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, with the government of India, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which we have, of course, all the time we have, and of course, the other part have a legitimate concern when it came to India relation with us or India relation with X and Y country. Everyone have all the time, whereas there is some sensitivity, everyone has legitimate concerns, and we used to to be received as a Palestinian ambassador. I used to be received in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs with maybe I'm the only one who just through the phone he can have had a meeting with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, my counterpart there. But again, how did we judge India's stand towards Palestine? We have the macro level by the end of the day. Put aside the issue that the micro, we have the macro level. When it came to the macro level, we watch India vote for the Palestinian resolution in the United Nations General Assembly, which just in less than 1 month. And during the last month, India voted in many of those resolutions, voted in favor of course. We used to watch India vote in the Human Rights Council and all of this stuff. And also we used to look to our history with India, because we have a very strong history when it came to the bilateral relation between India and Palestine. Even before we, in mid-1970s, mid-1930s, India was with Palestine during our very first military revolution.
Mm-hmm. But the scene has changed now.
Absolutely. We cannot deny that there is some changes.
Yeah.
It's not only India, worldwide, everything is changed. And we used to say that, or I think Aflatun, he said one time that you did not swim in the river 2 times because water is running. So that we did not swim in that. History is a change and everything. But we used to, again, to monitor the issue in the macro. And in the micro level also, there is much cooperation between India and Palestine. And I'm pretty sure that also India will be with Palestine in the day after the war itself.
I just want to know, that what is the difference that you see between our relations during Arafat's time and now?
You cannot compare that because you are talking about 3 decades ago, which means that much of water was run under the bridge and much of changes worldwide it happened. Much of the political perspectives changes, not only in India and Israel. And when we used to judge our relation as Israeli and Palestinians during Arafat time, it's completely, utterly different or completely on the opposite side. At that time, we have full hope. We are cooperating. We are very close during Yasser Arafat. And even at the very beginning of the President Mahmoud Abbas time when he assumed his office, we are very close. We very close to sign the final agreement. But unfortunately, the rightist people jumped to the political, to the political chair to guide Israel. And here we are. So that no, we cannot compare it because there is a lot of measures and tools and it's not fair to compare today with the past or today with the future. Changes that happen, and this is a natural issue, and we are highly respected all the changes, but we are very dynamic, and we can deal with all these changes.
Okay, we see relative silence from parts of the Muslim world. And even Palestinian allies during the conflict. Does it signify the lowering of Palestinian credibility, or do you say that the world community has not stood by you? Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I believe that I should stress on one issue. We, since the very first ever, we started this revolution against the British mandate, against the Jewish terrorist gangs who came to Palestine, against the Israeli occupation. We did not classify ourselves as Muslim against. This is not a Muslim case. So that anyone asks us, the Muslims, it's not related to the Muslim or to Islam or to Christianity or to Judaism at all. This is a pure legal case. This is a pure human case. So that how could you justify that India, which is the vast majority of them is Hindus people, is still supporting the Palestinian people? For example, how could you justify that millions, hundreds of millions of people in Australia, London, everywhere, whom is the ultimate vast majority of them is the Christian people, went to support the Palestinian question? How could you justify that the vast majority of the writers outspoken person in the United States of America, and the new generation is Jewish people who is leading the struggle on behalf of the Palestinian people. So that, no, I cannot agree at all that the Muslim, because I cannot portray it like a Muslim country. No, we have some difficulties with in many places, but this did not mean that our question, our cause is delegitimized. Or so again, when you look to the streets, your main measure should be the streets. Streets worldwide is fully supporting the social media, the Israeli themselves, the American themselves, the Zionist movement
Europe
itself is
also.
using to say that we lost the credibility, we lost the sympathy the Palestinian is gaining worldwide. No, absolutely. But we cannot portray it again.
We do see protests in Europe and
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Everywhere. Everywhere worldwide. There is not only protest, and who is and the one who did not dare to protest in the street, they used to protest in the social media.
Yeah.
Today is with all the censor that the Palestinian narrative is the censor by the logarithm censored that follow and strangulating the Palestinian narrative. But still, I have to say that no, we did not agree that our question or our support is degrading here or there. No, we have a full support, especially when it came to the Arabic countries. I can assure you.
But I feel that support is more against the genocide that is happening in Palestine.
Will you find anyone is stand with the genocide except the Israeli and the Zionist movement?
Yeah.
Will you find any rational one? You will not find any rational one is supporting the genocide. Israel itself is the only one is supporting, but they are justifying. They are completely ignoring there is a famine, there is a hunger, there is people who has died because of hunger, there is massacres, there is a genocide. They are utterly, completely ignoring this.
Yeah.
Neglect, yes.
Okay, so if Israel was not to allow a sovereign Palestine or the two-state solution, which is generally propagated, and diplomacy is failing in Gaza, what exactly is the end game strategy? Do you propose any alternative security architecture, considering that the US supports Israel and that enables Israel to do what it is doing?
The very last one is the declared position. It's not our position. The United States of America is fully back Israel, not only in this war, in all the measures that they are taking it long time ago. And just to remind everyone that the United States of America is paid, according to their declared statistics, $30.7 billion during the last 2 years to Israel, military equipment and all of this stuff. The United States of America has already used the veto 6 times to stop the current in the Security Council. So that when you say, yes, the United States of America is fully back the Israeli occupation, is fully back Israel, is fully back everything Israel, and all the measures that Israel is taking, whether it is in practical level or political level, is United States of America is absolutely, utterly fully back. And I'm not revealing a secret. This is a declared position by themselves. It's not. But what is the alternative? There is no alternative.
Security alternative that Palestinians.
We have now the war that declared by the Israeli occupation a long time ago, even before and the Israeli occupation itself and all of this stuff. We have one alternative. As Palestinian, strongly believe of it. Every single rational one should support and believe of it, is the two-state solution and the peace. The only alternative to the Israeli occupation is peace and the two-state solution. And we should not only believe, because India, for example, is believing back in the two-state solution, but it's time to move from the theoretical level, lip services, to practical level. I mean, it's time to start talking about how to press Israel, pressure Israel to implement the two-state solution, and there is a lot of ways. All of it legitimate, peaceful, legal, tested ways that we can, or the international community can go through, use it to pressure Israel to put an end to its occupation. And we used to say loud and clear, boycott the Israeli occupation, boycott the Israeli settlement, period. You cannot say that I'm against the two. I'm fully support the two-state solution, and the first ever barriers to two-state obstacle to the two-state solution is the Israeli settlement, and the Israeli settlement product is flooding and your market shelves. Hypocrisy, double standard. You cannot say that I am against the Israeli occupation and against any form of occupation. Then you impose 30,000 different type of sanctions against Russia and zero sanctions against Israel. Period. Hypocrisy, double standard.
Yeah.
Many ways that we can, or we as international community can use it, and it will let Israel eliminate, dismembering, this finishing it is occupation within 1 month. We have experience in that.
Yeah.
In 1956, it took the American, when Israel occupied Gaza and Sinai Peninsula. It took the American, Truman, I think the president, his name was at that time Truman. It took him just one call phone, tonight, leave Sinai Peninsula and Gaza. Ben-Gurion himself was withdrawn in one night, not 2 nights, 1 night. One call for 1 night. There was a win.
Yeah.
Fact, it's a fact, it's fact.
But that doesn't seem to be happening now.
No, today is not only not to see, many of the international communities even that are not neutral when it came to the Israeli occupations. They are part of the Israeli occupation, and this is what the recent report of one of the recent report of the Human Rights Council, which was issued just I think 2 months ago, I think entitled Economy of Genocide, which means that many of the countries is benefiting from the genocide, benefiting from the occupation, benefiting from the settlement itself.
Yeah. So my last question, Excellency, how do you see this military objective of Israel reshaping West Asia geopolitics?
Come again,
How do you see this Israel adventure, you know, what Israel is doing as reshaping the geopolitics of West Asia?
I think I will not going to tackle one part of the world, but I would like to say and to stress that because the security doctrine of Israel is based in the oppression of the Palestinian people. And even the vast majority of their military equipment is to attack and to oppress, and it's not to defend themselves, it's to attack and to oppress them, the Palestinian and other Middle East countries, so that anyone will be affected by this doctrine worldwide, he will not be benefited at all. Because again, security is essential, essence is doctrine, philosophy. And once anyone build his philosophy in attacking the other or based on occupying the other, likewise Israel, and anyone would like to benefit from them, he will not benefit at the very end of the day.
Israel right now, if you say, is fighting at a lot of directions. I mean, is Iran, it is in conflict with Iran, it is in conflict with Lebanon, it is in conflict with
Israel is in
Yemen,
conflict
all
with,
around.
No. Israel is in conflict with anyone who's not supporting it. Israel was in conflict with, I will not go to mention, tens of countries a long time ago.
But it's managing quite well.
Israel or Israel backed? Israel backed.
Yeah.
No, but we should differentiate between Israel and Israel backed by X, Y, Z countries.
Naturally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if the others is lifted Israel, we will stay in peace again. We will have the peace within 1 month. But since it is backed by, at least in the recent war, in the war in Gaza, it was fully backed by the United States of America. If the United States of America did not supply Israel with all of these weapons and the other Western countries, they were not going to launch this war. They will not going to kill 71,000 Palestinians.
How do you see the double standards as when it comes to Russia, Ukraine, and Israel, Palestine?
I already mentioned that the Western countries adopted 30 plus thousand different type of sanctions against Russia. Even the Russian music is prohibited now. Could you imagine? But when it came to Israel, zero sanctions had been adopted against it. Not only this, they used to say that, which with all due respect, of course, they are against the Israeli settlement. But when it came to the Israelis, the vast majority of the settlers have another dual nationality. Vast majority of it is European nationality. How come you are against the Israeli settlement and one of your citizens is a settler? How come you are against the Israeli settlement and the Israeli settlement border is very welcome in your market? Double standard. Hypocrisy, double standard, and this is not our word. You're going to find thousands of parliamentarian and political commentators in Europe themselves and America is talking about the hypocrisy and the double standard by their country, not us. When you compare their position, theoretical position, lip service position, to their practice on the ground, absolutely there is a big gap between what they are theorizing, what they are preaching when it came to the human rights and all of this stuff. But when it came to their acts, it's completely against.
So you think there's no end to it? It's just going to go on like this?
No, absolutely. The history is there. But it is not the first ever time in the history. And again, waters in the river is running, and we are not swimming in the river two times. So that history will change one day. And we, the Palestinians, strongly rely and backed by the power of logic. Israel is backed by the logic of power. Just to remind you, as Indian people, 100 years, you or your ancestor was fully backed by the power of logic. So
power of logic?
Power of absolutely the power of logic.
And the other one you said Palestine is backed?
No, the Palestinians use the power of logic. And the Israeli use the logic of power.
Logic of power, okay.
So that they are relying on the power, the military power. We are relying in our right, in the historical right, in our in the international law and in our beliefs.
So you still have faith in the international law, and you think you'll wait for it?
We have no other option except to wait and to every single day to use it to create a new hope for our people. And we have the hope.
Okay. Thank you, Excellency, for talking to me and sparing your precious time.
Please,
thank you so much.
Anytime. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you.